All right, Shalom. First, I start by saying all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of the will, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. This lesson it ain't gonna be that quick. I'm not gonna go too far in detail with it. I just want to skim the surface right now. I'm gonna go in detail. Y'all write this out a little later on. But this is Masonic temples in Philadelphia. AI overview. I said the Masonic Temple in Philadelphia, located at One Broad Street, is a historical medieval Norman-style building completed in 1873 that serves as the headquarters for the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania. Sorry, so it's the headquarters of the Grand Lodge. It houses the Masonic Library and Museum on witchcraft that possess evil spirits of Pennsylvania and features an array of ornately decorated rooms, okay, such as Egyptian Hall, modern day Egypt, and Corinthian Hall, and then they got nothing to do with church. They just want to make it seem like it do. I don't know if this is well, normally when you deal with a Grand Lodge, all the baby lodges answer to the Grand Lodge. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, it says a Grand Lodge is the governing body of Freemasonry within a specific geographic area, right? The governing body, right? The head, such as a state or country. So this is their Grand Lodge in Philadelphia. It supervises individual local blue lodges and is headed by a Grand Master. Remember the scripture said, call no man your master. Let me get that. Matthew chapter 23, verse 8. But be not ye called Rabbi, Father, for one is your master, even Yahushua, and all ye are brethren. Give me a second. Okay, there you go. It says, and call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Yahushua. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. Right? So the greatest among us is supposed to be the servant. The elders is supposed to be the servant to the flock. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. Right? You don't want to get puffed up with pride and exalt yourself. And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Right? And the Lord will lift you up. Lift you into a position that you want to be in. You know? Yeah. A position or the Lord even lifts you up at certain things that's going on. Damn, I'm trying to think of a good example. Well, the main goal is really to be in this ministry to get lifted up as you continue in the ministry, to not stay in the same position, you know. Um, yeah, but the point is, be not called masters. So they call the leaders, the heads of these of the Grand Lodge, the Blue Lodges, and things of that nature, Grand Masters. So they bluntly going against the scriptures, and a lot of these guys in these Masonic orders, as far as Jake go, even Esau, claim to be men of God and pastors and preachers and heads of churches, but they be up under these titles, or they allow these titles to be head. They're not righteous. But it says it supervises, and they don't speak against it. They partake. Your pastors and your preachers and spiritual leaders, whichever one you want to call them, are part of either the Negroes, York Rite, Scottish Rite, you know. Um, that's something I had to look into, because they separate the lodges. They be having specific lodges just for the Negroes. They got specific lodges just for the Latins, and the Edomites got their own lodges, you know. But the pastors and the preachers go under the York Rite and the Scottish Rite. I don't know if there's a separation. That'd be something to look into. But for sure, they go up under either York Rite or Scottish Rite, which is against the Bible. That's part of them doing rituals and witchcraft and sacrificing and doing demonic, putting people under spells and spears. That's what's going on in the church, And who's the head? The Grand Lodge is in charge of that, making sure everybody do their part in what they're supposed to do. Satan on the left hand side uh, has order and structure as well. But it says it supervises individual local blue lodges and is headed by a grand master. Unlike local lodges that hold regular member meetings, grand lodges have elected officials and focus on administrative, organizational, and charitable duties for the entire jurisdiction. Key functions and characteristics: governing body, a grand lodge sets the rules and standards for the lodges under its jurisdiction. Hierarchical structure: it has its own officers, often with titles that include grand, such as the Grand Secretary or Grand Warden. Jurisdictional focus: a Grand Lodge governs a specific territory, meaning there is no single worldwide governing body for all of Freemasonry. Administrative focus: Grand Lodge meetings are for administrative tasks like managing finances, approving new members, and handling organizational matters rather than the ritualistic ceremonies of a local lodge. Okay, it says organizational layer. Some Grand Lodges may have another layer of administration like provincial or district Grand Lodges to help manage their territory. Right, so that's what a Grand Lodge is. So this is back to this Masonic temple. And remember, the scriptures say you're not supposed to dwell in temples made with hands, you know. But they gonna learn. It says such as Egyptian and Corinthian Hall, designed to reflect various cultures and architectural styles. The temple is considered one of the most elaborate examples of Masonic architecture in the United States and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Exterior: the building's exterior is described as a symbol of Mason's journey, with walls that progress from rough to smooth, culminating in the perfect front. Interior: the interior is highly ornate with themed rooms designed to represent different cultures and time periods. Egyptian Hall: the first room decorated, it is filled with hieroglyphics, murals, and columns copied from ancient Egyptian temples. Nothing of they got to do with the Israelites and our shit. Corinthian Hall and our stuff. Corinthian Hall, the largest lodge room dedicated to ancient Greece, features 52-foot high ceilings. So this the way they sound and seem like this is just a Edomite field lodge, but they still rule over the Negroes. The scriptures say that in Genesis, thou should be at the neck of thy enemies. The Lord got these Edomites, even in the Masonic and Satanic order, ruling over Jake. And still there's still that separation, that racism. You know, Oriental Hall, modeled after the uh, Humbra in Spain. It represents Islamic architecture. Islamic architecture. The Ottoman Turks were Edomites. If I'm not mistaken, the Ottoman Turks follow a branch of Islam. Edomites is white people, according to the Bible. Gothic Hall, a medieval themed room that houses a collection of antique furniture. Iconic Hall, named for its columns. Its ceiling represents the sky, complete with celestial signs. Norman Hall, decorated with themes from the Book of Kells. I don't know what the Book of Kells is, but if they got it in there, it's got to be something demonic. Let me see if I can Google it real fast. 1 second. If this is the right book, it's Wikipedia came up. Book of Kells, Irish, for Le Bor or Canenis, Dublin Trinity College Library. Okay, that came up also. Sometimes known as the Book of Columba, is an illustrated manuscript and Celtic gospel book in Latin, containing the four Gospels of the New Testament, together with various prefatory texts and tables. Right, you're supposed to have a Bible, not nothing but none. Um, the Celtics were Israelites and they worshiped the devil, demonic spirits and shit. But Esau, he took everything from us and called it his own. But you're supposed to have the whole complete Bible, not the Book of Kells. And he says in Latin. Yeah, Satan. Nothing to do with the Holy Scriptures. Just idolatry. Them Edomites, the white people can have this type of stuff. Jake can't have this type of stuff. Glorify it, look up to it, nothing. It has nothing to do with us. Renaissance Hall features high ceilings with designs inspired by Italian structures. I'm gonna get into all this. Y'all write this out later. Symbolism. The building is filled with Masonic symbolism. For example, the exterior walls can be seen as representing a Mason's journey, and the grand banquet hall includes a Masonic floor. The Masonic floor is normally checkerboard floors, black and white, and a bronze sculpture of Benjamin Franklin. The front doors are noted for weighing 1 ton each, yet being easy to open. It says headquarters. It serves as the headquarters for the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania. Construction designed by James Windrum, who was a Mason. Construction took place between 1868 and 1873. Right, the people that construct these buildings because they deal with demons and spirits be Masons. That's why they call them Masons, Master Masons. On the witchcraft side, landmark status. Right, the demons help them construct these buildings. Landmark status. The temple was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1985, is considered one of the nation's most elaborate examples of Masonic agriculture. It says key features: Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania. The temple hosts meetings for several Philadelphia lodges and the Grand Lodge. Masonic Library and Museum. It houses the Masonic Library and Museum of Pennsylvania. Right, so if you want to go and enhance your demonic spiritual eye, you can. Benjamin Franklin. The temple has strong connections to Benjamin Franklin, a prominent Mason, with rooms dedicated to him and statues depicting his relationship with other Masons like Lafayette. Lafayette. Let me go back and show you what it looked like because I was looking at this first. Here we go. This would look like inside. Yeah, this would look like inside. Yeah, so I'm going to add these presets. This is Exodus 22 and 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Right, these people that partake in these Masonic orders be witches and warlocks. Witch is interchangeable with warlock. They're supposed to be put to death according to the Bible, and they eventually will be put to death. This is Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 20. And there shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire. As you go up in the ranks in the Masonic order, you have to do sacrifices to retain your position, to show your allegiance with the devil, to get money, get things to happen for you and benefit you in this life. It says, or that uses divination. Divination is a form of witchcraft, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consultant with familiar spirits, right? Summoning the dead. Um, oh no, the necromancer is a summoning the dead. Let me look this up real fast. Or a wizard. A wizard is a witch. Same thing, a male witch or a necromancer. Consulting with familiar spirits. Them familiar spirits be them demons. They be if I'm not mistaken, they're spirit guides. Give me a second. This is consulting with familiar spirits refers to the practice of seeking guidance from what are believed to be spiritual. Yep, see spiritual spirit guides, entities that are knowledgeable about a person's life. The practice is forbidden in the Bible, right? See, which describes these spirits as deceptive and an abomination to God. While some New Age or pagan traditions view them as helpful spirit guides, religious texts like the Bible and its related teachings view them as dangerous and linked to witchcraft and demonic influence. Right, and that's what they are. That's why Scripture said they should not be found amongst you. Let's look up this necromancer. Necromancer definition. Necromancy is the practice or magic involving communication with the dead by summoning their spirits as apparitions or visions for the purpose of divination. That's what Saul did. And the Lord took his crown from him and gave it to King David. I'm going to read it. Imparting the means to foretell future events and discover hidden knowledge. Sometimes categorized under death magic, the term is occasionally also used in a more general sense to refer to black magic or witchcraft as a whole. Right. Skull and Bones, the Temple of Skull and Bones, and them having Geronimo's head. I think that's what they used it for. Um, yeah, that's against the Bible. You're supposed to be talking to Yahweh Shema Shai and not past relatives. Which sometimes they might not even be your past relative. They might just be a demon. You know. Mhm. Mhm. All right, this is First Samuel chapter 28. I can start at verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. And Achish said unto David, Know thou assuredly that thou shalt go out with me to battle, thou and thy men. And David said to Achish, Surely thou shalt know what thy servant can do. And Achish said to David, Therefore will I make thee keeper of mine head forever. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits that dealt with the spirit gods, and the wizards, the male witches, out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shunem, and Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his mind greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord Yahweh answered him not, neither by dreams nor by Urim. That's like the Urim and the Thummim is just like the internet now today. they had it back then, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servants, Seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servants said to him, Behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment, and he went, and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, Behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done, how he had cut off those that have familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life, to cause me to die? And Saul sware to her by the Lord, saying, As the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. Then said the woman, Whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, Bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sayest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her, What form is he of? And she said, An old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stood with his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, Why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets, nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, and thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do. Then said Samuel, Wherefore then doest thou ask of me, saying, The Lord Yahweh is departed from thee, and is become thine enemy? And the Lord Yahweh hath done to him as he spake by me. For the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David, because thou obeyedest not the voice of the Lord Yahweh, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Amalek today is them so-called Jews, the ones that's ruling the world. They got everybody in subjection, ruling it with the whip, you know. Therefore hath the Lord Yahweh done this thing unto thee this day. Moreover, the Lord Yahweh will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines tomorrow, prophesied to him. Tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. The Lord Yahweh also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. And Saul fell straightway all along on the earth, and was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel. And there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all the day, nor all the night. And the woman came unto Saul, and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, Behold, thine handmaid hath obeyed thy voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have hearkened unto thy words, which thou spakest unto me. Now therefore I pray thee, hearken thou also unto the voice of thy handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before thee, and eat, that thou mayest have strength when thou goest on thy way. Right. So it was prophesied that he was gonna die. You know, the Lord stopped fucking with him, behind him not listening. Then he went and did some witchcraft. So that's the judgment when you deal in witchcraft, death, man. This is Deuteronomy 18 and 10. Nope, I was at 11. Or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord Yahweh, right? So he was an abomination unto the Lord. He just kept getting wickeder. And because of these, and he was a Benjamite. so-called Jamaican or Trinidadian, whichever one you want to call it. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord Yahweh, and because of these abominations, the Lord Yahweh thy God doth drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord Yahweh thy God. Right? We're supposed to be perfect. And the Lord got rid of the heathen nations from amongst us because they dealt in this manner. So our people that's adhering to the leadership of these grand lodges and these Edomites, they gonna all be put to death, right along with the heathen. The heathen, that's for the heathen to do, not for us. Galatians chapter 5, verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. The spirit is this word, and everything that entails the law, statutes, commandments, the judgments, the history, the stories that we're supposed to be learning from. You know, you understanding them is walking in the spirit. You walking in the flesh is you being a part of the Masonic order. It says, for the flesh lusts against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, excess lust. Being a part of this society has you under these vibrations, these spirits. Idolatry, that's idol worship in the Masonic temple. Witchcraft in the Masonic temple. Hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders. Y'all kill your own people for to obtain better positions in them secret societies. Drunkenness, drunken with philosophies. Y'all believe that wholeheartedly that that's God and the way that y'all should be going. Revelings and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh Shema Shai. Right. So you guys that's partaking in that, y'all going down this side. Y'all not going to heaven via the way the elect, the chosen are going. Um, the deliverance by the so-called UFOs. Y'all not going that way. Y'all gotta die on this side and be birthed back in under the elect, the chosen. You know, this is Nahum. These precepts not in any particular order. I kind of did this off the cuff. This is Nahum, chapter 3, verse 1. Woe, meaning destruction, to the bloody city, America. It is full of lies. Right, lied about who we were according to the lied about who we were. We are the children of Israel, of the various tribes. Our God is Yahweh, and whom the world even calls Jesus Christ, that's our King. His name is Yahweh Shai. They not for everybody, they only for us. You know? So y'all gave us these philosophies. And robbery, right? Rape, rob, and murder is how America was established. The prey departeth not. Who is the prey? Israel. We are being preyed upon. I'm going to jump to verse 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the harlot is America. Her whoredoms is her philosophies. The mistress of witchcrafts, see, mistress of witchcraft. She controls the world via her witchcraft. But the Lord has been cutting her witchcraft off. All these Masonic temples that you see, Grand Lodges, Blue Lodges, whichever name they go up under, is all of Satan, and they all partake in witchcraft, and they keep control that way. That selleth nations through her whoredom, she promotes her philosophies, her witchcrafts to the other nations, and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. The Lord is against America. And I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. The Lord is uncover America's wickedness, her witchcrafts, and the slavery that the Israelites had to endure and partake. And I will shew the nations thy nakedness, right? And the nations have been waking up to it, and they even mentioned it at some of these G8 summits and things of that nature. Putin mentioned something about us being about the Lord being black, meaning the Lord, the meaning that we are Israelites. That's all basically he was saying. Ahmadinejad, the former president of Iran, and I think they got family ties. He mentioned something about us. I think he said something about us being Israelites and how we over here still in captivity, things of that nature. Um, Abdul Nasir, damn, I keep forgetting his first name, but he was the Egyptian president. He mentioned something about how did the Jews leave Israel black and came back white. So they just basically letting people know that the real Jews are the so-called blacks over here in America, but it's 12 tribes. You got the Latins and the Native Americans that's a part of the 12 tribes, you know. So it says, and I will discover thy spirits upon thy face, expose America for her wickedness against the Israelites, even trying to take that history out of the schools. And I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the nations have been testifying about it as well, and the kingdoms thy shame. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. And it shall come to pass that all that look upon thee shall flee from thee. The nations are leaving America. And say Nineveh, which is another name for America, is laid waste. America's eventually going to be hit by thermonuclear missiles. Who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comforters for her? Who's going to moan for her, cry for her? And what shall I seek comforters for her? She will not be comforted. And the nations are going to mourn because they made money here. This is Second Peter chapter 3, verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. America's going to pass away by thermonuclear missiles. It's going to be a thief because no one's watching but the elect. The elect is paying attention, watching the news, watching the laws that's being passed in this kingdom, America, just as well over in the East. Putin already said, if y'all help Ukraine out, y'all will be looked at as an enemy, and I have the potential to strike y'all, even a nuclear strike. So these things have already happened, months, and depending on the situation, years ago. Him passing the laws and stating that he was going to destroy America, which is eventually going to happen at the will of the Lord, and the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. That's all the people. That's all these structures. These Masonic temples is gonna melt. The school's gonna melt. The precinct's gonna melt. Church is gonna melt. Business buildings gonna melt. The people gonna melt. The animals gonna melt. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Everything I just said. Seeing that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be, right? What personality you supposed to be in right now? You Israelites, you blacks, Latins, Native Americans, and all holy conversation, and godliness, speaking on the truth, not rapping, not speaking on adultery, drugs. You do, you women, y'all conversations be wicked in the motherfucker. You homosexuals, the LGBT community, y'all supposed to be speaking on the truth, man. Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, right? America's going to be burned. It's going to be on fire. The lake of fire is America being on fire. It's not hell. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Everybody is made of element. Everything over here is made of an element. The trees made of elements. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth. That's the kingdom of heaven for the elect, wherein dwelleth righteousness, and it's going to be righteous kingdom of heaven under the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible, going to be reestablished. I'm going to end it with this precept. This is Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Right. So our people are destroyed. They believe that this Masonic order is the way. They destroy it. They don't have the truth. They follow out the philosophies. They are spiritually destroyed. They have no knowledge of Yahweh Shem Shai, like it says in verse 1. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, they also reject the truth. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Right? The men are the priests. The Lord rejects the people end up dying, dead, physically, because the Lord not dealing with them. They even have declared themselves the enemies of Yahweh Shem Shai. So that's their judgment. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. See, the law is not done away with. You have to live after according to the law, to the best of our ability of what we can live in this society. Ultimately, the elect is the ones that's gonna make it out of here. We got grace. We have to show that we believe by living up to the standards of the scriptures, man. It says, I will also forget thy children. That's why your children dying. The 16-year-old girl was just a child. The baby's being shot. Children. Why? Because y'all don't want to come back to Yahweh Shem Shai. Y'all the same people that the Lord dropped off on us living up out of the ancient Egypt. And now we're in the modern day Egypt. And y'all getting dropped off again. So with that being said, call law Yahweh by Shem Shai, by Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles that rule well. And salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.